And welcome to the celebrated nightly news of Calaveras County. My name is John.
And I'm Kim.
Uh-oh. You know what? We have a screen problem back here. I forgot to switch
John just got in from Jenny Lind.
I did. I just got in from Jenny Lind.
He went to the tax meeting, right? The tax relief meeting.
We'll just turn the screen off.
All right.
There we go.
He went to the tax relief meeting. So I don't know how to set up for the news, so it's always up to him, unfortunately. So if he runs in the door at 2 minutes to 10, then that's how much time we have to prepare, correct?
But I went to a meeting.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, I know.
I said you went to a meeting, so I don't know how to get all the cameras and all the gear ready to start the news. So
you don't?
Otherwise, I would do it. No.
Oh.
Of course, I don't really want to learn either. I've never.
Hey, you know what? Start off with a couple little light notes, and I'll just do it because I think it's important because we have some really cool stuff. Supervisor Russ Thomas invited County Assessor Randy Metzger and also Assistant County Assessor Leslie Davis to address a group assembled at the Jenny Lind Fire Department tonight on tax issues.
Okay.
And this is if you think you get your tax bill from the county and you think they're assessing you too high, you don't have to take it anymore. You can appeal.
Yes, you can. Now I have a question for you. Does it charge to appeal?
No.
So they will come out and reassess for free?
Well, no, not necessarily.
Okay, those are the questions that I've had. Okay.
Right.
Now, has everybody been reassessed or just some? Okay. Because I was speaking with somebody tonight who she has not received a letter in the mail saying that her house has gone down in value, but her neighbor has.
Right. Some of that will be dependent.
Her house
some of that will be dependent on when you bought the house, how long you've held it.
Okay.
So I'm going to do some of that like roadie stuff.
What do you mean?
For a second.
So you want me to talk? Is that
no,
what
go ahead.
Mean? What do you mean? You mean you're just going to get up?
Well, no, I'm not going to. I'm just going to disappear.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
Roadie. So that's roadie when you just disappear.
Like a roadie.
Okay.
Stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
We received a press release today from Jerry Snyder of the U.S. Forest Service. They have announced that because of high fire danger, a forest order enacting temporary fire restrictions is in effect in moderate fire hazard areas of the Stanislaus National Forest. The fire restriction prohibits campfires, briquette, barbecues, and smoking outside developed campgrounds in designated moderate hazard areas of the forest.
So I can't start smoking?
No, you can't start smoking.
Oh,
and no marinara either. Welding and blasting also are prohibited except by special permit. And we have a map of the areas on thepinetree.net, which are considered the moderate fire hazard areas of the Stanislaus National Forest.
What do you mean no blasting?
No blasting, no welding, no shooting, I imagine. Isn't that what caused the fire in Mariposa, target shooting?
I think so.
Yes.
No shooting?
So you need to have a permit for welding and blasting.
So that means you can't shoot me until after.
No.
No
smoking. No smoking. Forest Supervisor Susan Skalski noted hot, dry weather and tinder dry conditions continue to persist in moderate hazard areas of the forest. This forest order serves as an extra measure to help reduce the potential for large and damaging wildfires. We are asking the public's cooperation in helping us prevent destructive fires before they start. The following... I can't even talk. It's too late at night for me. The following areas are in effect by forest order in designated moderate fire hazard areas on the Miwok, Summit, and Calaveras Ranger districts of the Stanislaus National Forest. Campfires, building, maintaining, or tending or using a campfire, including briquette-type barbecue or stove fire, is prohibited except within developed recreation sites. Persons with a valid California campfire permit may use a portable stove or lantern that uses gas, jellied petroleum, or pressurized liquid fuel. Smoking. Smoking is prohibited except within an enclosed vehicle or building.
Jellied petroleum.
Jellied petroleum, yes. Smoking is prohibited except within an enclosed vehicle or building. So you can only smoke with the windows rolled up in the car. Okay, there you go.
Using jellied petroleum. No?
This is a very serious thing. We need to stop joking.
I'm sorry.
A developed recreation site or while stopped in an area at least 3 feet in diameter that is barren or cleared of flammable material. Operating internal combustion engines. Operation of internal combustion engines including chainsaws except on forest-developed roads, designated trails, and managed off-highway vehicle trails. Welding. Operating acetylene or other torch with open flame is prohibited except by permit. Now, I don't know if you're going to be doing any welding. Like, I don't know that you do.
You can't even get me to take out the trash.
No, I can't. I forgot to take out the trash this morning to the curb. Use of explosives are prohibited except by permit. There you go.
So you can't shoot me or blow me out.
No. Violations of these prohibitions is punishable by a fine of not more than $5,000 for an individual or $10,000 for an organization, or imprisonment for not more than 6 months or both. So, we also have a list of all the fire stations with their hours and days that they're open in the area. And let me see. Exhibit C, developed recreation sites within the moderate fire hazard area are Cottonwood Picnic Area, Big Meadow Campground, Clark Fork Campground, Sand Flat Campground, Donald Vista Picnic Area, I'm not good at reading, Fence Creek Campground, Meadowview Campground, Mill Creek Campground, Niagara... Hey, is that what you think of my reading? No. Niagara Creek Campground, Pioneer Trail Group Campground, Pinecrest Campground, Pinecrest Lake Picnic Area, and Sand Flat Campground. So you aren't allowed to do any of those things in those areas. Correct?
So...
No smoking, only if the windows are rolled up.
So if I go up there, okay, got it.
No welding, no campfires, no barbecuing of any sort with briquettes. No bombs.
You can only use jellied petroleum.
Yes, no bombs. What else? No chainsawing, so you can't go out and...
So... Jellied petroleum, is that like...
will you please quit saying that word? Just stop it. Okay.
Well, it's funny.
All right. Let's get on with the news.
Jellied petroleum.
Yes, that's all you're allowed to use. So if you want to start a fire...
Which I believe is sterno. Something like sterno. All right. As opposed to, like, trying to cook with Vaseline.
Yes.
Although that is pure petroleum jelly.
Yes. Okay, all right.
I think it's hard to cook with.
I think
I've never tried, though. Have you ever tried?
No, I haven't. I barely cook at all, so I've certainly never cooked with Vaseline. I wouldn't use this nice butter in the pan to saute the vegetables. What do you think? All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
This is Leslie Davis.
Well, who is she again?
Now, she is the assistant assessor.
Okay.
All right, deputy assessor.
All right.
Now, this is the first 5 minutes she talks about the process, which I think many people in the county that are property owners will be interested in.
All right.
And she knows her stuff.
Yes, she does.
It's pretty impressive. She's talking about Proposition 13 right now. This may be too arcane.
To hear for tonight, right on the news, maybe.
Okay, this is it. Now this took place tonight in the Rancho Calgary Jenny Lind area.
In Rancho we've got 3 property types. We've got half acre, acre, and 3 acres. So we segmented the market data in those half acre, acre, and 3 acre divisions. And then we looked at what properties would sell for in the half acre market, in the acre market, and in the 3 acre market. Once we found those ranges of values per square foot, we compared what was being assessed on, I'll just pick Allison's property. Okay? Let's say, in fact, let me just make somebody up. Let's say somebody had a 1,500 square foot house on an acre. And we said, and I'm really making this up because I want to do the math in my head. Okay. And we said that it should sell for $200 per square foot. 200 times 1,500 is 300,000. We would then compare that number to what it was assessed for. And if it was assessed for more than the 300,000, then we lowered it. If it was assessed for less than the 300,000, we didn't lower it at all. The thing that we're finding is confusing folks is the law requires us to consider the appraisal unit. Now here we're really going to get into some technical jargon. The appraisal unit is what sells in the marketplace. You don't sell your lot to one person and your house to someone else. You sell the lot and the house in the market. So even though you might have a really low land value and a high improvement value, we had to look at the total dollars. And then when we did a Prop 8 reduction, your land value might have actually gone up, but your improvement value might have gone down and a lower number than would be enrolled. And that is confusing folks who are getting letters. I took a week of vacation last week, and I can tell you that that's when they know the letters. Yeah, I knew those phone calls would be rolling on in. I got my Prop 8 notice. I happen to be one of those people who bought almost at the height of the market. There was no way to resist it. Certainly if I had a crystal ball, I'd be wealthy and probably not working for government, but I missed it. So I got my Prop 8 notice on Wednesday or Thursday last week. And the first thing my husband said was, our property's not worth as much as we paid for it. So we're also getting that kind of question as well. How is it that you came up with the number? What happens with my mortgage company? Because some folks have their mortgage company taking out their property taxes into an impound account. Those are all the kinds of questions that we would expect you might have here tonight. But the first thing we wanted to do was explain to you what we did, how we did it, and why we did it. What happens next? Once a property goes on Prop 8, then we're required by law to review it every year. The valuation date that we use is January 1st. That's what we call the lien date. So the value that that's going to show on your tax bill this year is your factored base year value effective January 1st, 2008. The complication here is the market's continuing to go down. And those are the taxes you're going to be paying in December. It's based on an almost year-old value. And that's a really hard thing to keep in context. Next year, for the January 1st, 2009 roll value, we're going to have to look at all 5,244 that we actually reduced, plus the others that we think would now loop in under any kind of reduction. And what we'll do every year, if the property is gone on a Prop 8 reduction, is we will compare current market value to what it's being assessed for to what its factored base year value is. Now, the factored base year value is continuing to go up to 2% per year, sort of in the background in the computer system. So the computer's going to tell us, here's the factored base year value, and we're going to know what the current market value is, and we're going to compare those numbers. When the factored base year value gets lower than current market, it will be restored. This is very bad news for someone like me, who maybe got a $50,000 or $60,000 reduction. The year that it goes up, I'm going to get a $50,000 or $60,000 increase in 1 year. Which means my property taxes are going to go up 1% to that.
Right. It would go up right where they should be. It's going to maintain itself.
Exactly. Sure. Exactly. But it's a shock.
Okay. All right. And we know we let that probably run a little bit long. We hope you're able to hear some of that.
I'm surprised it's only. But she said she bought at the height of the market. It's only gone down 50,000.
Or her appraisal, probably 60,000. Well, some people are underwater a lot more than that.
1 to 200,000.
In some instances,
areas,
yeah. I mean, some instances you probably
if
couldn't.
You bought right at the height.
Yeah, you're probably down significant amounts. So, if you get your tax bill and you think your assessed value is too high, you have now till November. It started July 2nd to November to appeal. There's no cost to file the appeal. You must file the appeal in the clerk's, in the supervisor clerk's office, because when you appeal, it goes to the Board of Supervisors under the auspices of the Board of Equalization. When they sometimes you'll notice on some of the Board of Supervisors meetings, they will, during the meeting, they will, okay, we're now going to end our suspend our Board of Supervisors meeting and reconvene as something else. Sometimes they'll reconvene as something like a cemetery board or a board of equalization. So they appeal to the Board of Supervisors if you think the assessor's office is not right on.
All right.
Okay? And typically what they're saying is the people from the assessor's office do not like to go before the board. So basically, if you think you have grounds for an appeal, usually they will make adjustments within the office before it ever gets to the board.
So you go to the county office and you fill out a form?
Yes.
Okay.
At the supervisor clerk's office, which is in the county clerk's office.
All right. Okay.
So if you walk in the county clerk's office, instead of making a left towards elections, just kind of go straight on ahead.
All right.
And one of the wonderful young ladies there will help you.
Yes. They are all very friendly.
They are very nice.
Yes, very nice.
Okay.
So we will also have this full video up on our website.
It runs just over an hour of tax goodness.
Yes, give you all the information you need to know.
We would like to. I think Supervisor Thomas gets high marks.
Yes, he did an excellent job calling this meeting, right?
Yes, because
so
it's something people are interested
better understand.
And also is. Randy Metzger said that they would. He's the only supervisor that has requested more information for constituents on this. And one of the reasons we went tonight is there may be some specific language in this discussion to Genesee Land, the Rancho Calaveras area, but these principles apply
to
countywide. So, if you're looking at reducing some of your tax costs and everything else, you think your appraised value is too high,
you may go in and appeal.
You can appeal, and the appeal is free.
Now, what happens if you don't get a letter at all?
And you think you should have?
And you think you should have?
You can appeal.
Okay. All right. I was curious about that. Okay.
Yeah. Or if you get a letter and you think the letter is not quite...
It should be lower.
Then...
Wait a minute. It's gone down more than that. Okay.
You can appeal that.
All right. Okay.
So.
All right. They are having a bone marrow transplant drive for Martin Chevy. We received this email today asking us to post this on thepinetree.net. Dear Pine Tree viewers, I am asking you to help me with a very important and emergent task. I need to have everyone in Calaveras County and beyond know that I am organizing a bone marrow donor drive in San Andreas at the Delta Blood Bank on Tuesday, the 12th of August, which is this coming Tuesday. The address is 164 East Charles Street in San Andreas. This will only involve a cheek swab and will not be painful. The reason being is pretty heartwarming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to click read more.
Oh, no.
My very dear friend, Martin Chevy, who owns the Red Apple Cafe in Aptos, where I used to live, was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of leukemia this past May, and it has not responded to the chemo treatments he has already done. Neither of his siblings are a match, nor his only child. I was fortunate in having the support of this community about 11 years ago when our family lost our son Max to his heart condition after a bad surgery went terribly wrong. At the time, Kathy Thomas, Dr. Ken Thomas's wife, and lots of others put together a blood drive in Max's honor to replace the many units of blood they used trying to save Max's life. I now have an opportunity to pay it forward, and I hope that even though you may not know Martin, you will appreciate that one day this could save your life or that of another loved one. Martin has spent many days visiting here in Calaveras County and loves to fish up here and sees the friends that he has had that have moved from the greater area Santa Cruz area. I wonder if Hannah knows this family. That's where she came from. Mm-hmm. Please come and get your cheek swabbed. It won't take much time out of your day, and you may save someone's life. That's the ultimate paying it forward. Sincerely, Milana Warren. And then we have a link to Martin's website on the Pine Tree. You have to go to the picture and click it, and it takes you to the website. Picture of he and the giant fish. Now, what is that?
No, that's a fish story.
That is a fish story. Look at that thing. My gosh.
We think there may be a little bit of Photoshopping going on.
You think so? A little bit of Photoshopping going on. So
maybe.
I know our community will come forward on this, as they always do.
Always do.
They came They came together for Marilyn Sanders on Saturday, and I know they'll come together for this. So thank you so much for sending that in to us. That's actually a very heartwarming and very kind thing that she's doing.
Did you talk about the telegraph fire yet?
No, I have not. No, I haven't.
As of 7:45 this morning, the 34,000 plus acre telegraph fire is officially contained. So, and there's still going to be several thousand, troops and stuff on hand.
Yes.
Do you want to read more over there on yours? You'll probably have
Here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Because if I do it here, it may go.
See, this is a web show, so that's why we sometimes have a little glitches. We do? Yeah, we do it strictly from the web.
Maybe it's just the on-air talent that's glitchy.
Well, this is the one in Copperopolis, the home fire.
Let's go ahead and talk about that one since we've already got it up.
We have received a fire report on the sad fire and suicide yesterday in Copperopolis. The total damage was approximately $500,000. And the house was a total loss. Units from Copperopolis, Baseline, Standard, Arnold, San Andreas, Arnold, Murphy's, Twainhart, Altaville, Columbia Air Attack, and more worked this unfortunate incident. The fire report is enclosed. It occurred at 4085 Little John Road, and this was the structure fire yesterday where the gentleman started the structure on fire. Burned two vehicles were burned, and then he shot himself. Is that what happened?
Correct.
Okay.
And this is the fire report. There is a separate sheriff's report on this as well, where they were saying they did try to talk the man down, so to speak, and they were unsuccessful. There's been all kinds of...
the gentleman's name was confirmed as James Arno...
Oops.
What?
Man, we've got all kinds of glitches. We lost our camera. Good. We have audio.
The Sheriff's Department did release the official report and a suicide report. The gentleman's name was 46-year-old James Arno Watt. So that was his name. We have a lot of comments on that. So our heart does go out to the family during this difficult time, family and friends of both, all the parties involved.
Yep.
What's going on, John? You're just like the jumping bean tonight.
Well, since
the
Bob had the night off.
Bob had the night off.
Yeah, our cameraman,
our camera crew.
What's up with that? I don't know. It's like, it's just the way it is sometimes. Anyway, So follow up on that and.
So where was he from? Was he a local man? Was he a Copperopolis man?
From Copperopolis, yeah.
From Copperopolis. Okay. All right. The case is still under investigation, so that's the information that we received. We also received, like he said, the fire in Mariposa County is 100% contained. They will have, I'm sure they'll have crews on scene for about the next 2 to 3 weeks.
They'll be on scene for a long time.
There was quite a bit. The total damage was, I'm sorry, that was the one from above.
It's like almost $40 million.
Yes, $40 million. All caused from target shooting.
Right.
Believe that. We received another press release today regarding, on Saturday, August 16th, the Mother Lode Land Trust, in cooperation with the Foothill Conservancy and MyValleySprings.com, will present conservation strategies, an overview of easements, and the Williamson Act from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Valley Springs Elementary Street on Saturday, August 16th. So we have the full agenda that they will be talking about during the meeting, the overview of the meeting, and all the things regarding the easements. This is kind of a big deal. We had actually looked at properties that have the easements through them, which makes it sometimes difficult to sell the parcels that have the easements. So that takes place on the 16th of August.
And we have a fun little good piece. Now, lots of times, people think that there is no good economic news right now. Not true. Now, we were going through San Andreas tonight. Now, this is the first one. There may be another one we don't know of. But there was sub $4 gas.
Yes, let's check that out.
$3.98.9. Now, that is good stuff. Oil is closed below $120 a barrel. The Gas Mart in San Andreas is the first one we've seen. And it just makes you want to go drive someplace.
Yes, it does. Makes you, when we drove to Oregon, we spent a lot of money on gas. We spent about $600 on gas. That was very depressing.
It was.
Up and back, and then the days we were there.
Yeah.
$600.
$3.98 a gallon, so sub $4 gallons. So that's a good thing. That's pretty good.
Yes, so now maybe I can start leaving the house again, not staying home. I can actually get in the car and go places, right?
You think? Nah, maybe not.
The sheriffs are holding a study session tomorrow. Did you know that?
Oh, go ahead.
At the Calaveras Planning Commission meeting. Let me see. The Calaveras County Planning Commission is back in action tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. There will be three public hearings and a sheriff's study session regarding staffing issues. We have the full agenda enclosed on thepinetree.net.
And
I think it's time for us to sign off.
It is. One last little tiny bit on national news. Now, the Olympics are opening tomorrow. A lot of controversy about China's openness or lack thereof and everything else, but it should be a good show. We wish all the athletes well. Another little interesting thing.
Somebody asked if we were covering the Olympics the other day.
We're going to put some Olympic stuff up.
They want to know if we were actually going to cover the Olympics. You guys cover everything else. You're covering the Olympics, right?
We're gonna, yeah. So,
if John would, he could. Believe me,
it would be fun.
If we could afford a
flight
to China, he would do it.
About 20 seconds. You may recall that John McCain released an ad a couple days ago where he was claiming that Obama, while he may be one of the biggest celebrities on the planet, he may not, in fact, be ready to lead. So now, Paris Hilton and this ad featured pictures of Paris Hilton and also Britney Spears, and it shows while being a celebrity is good, you may not really lead. Now, Paris Hilton has launched her own anti-commercial against McCain, so it's kind of...
Okay, interesting.
It's getting rather silly, but have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you.